Yes, it's gonna be one of those videos. Oh my God. I don't know how people can be Republicans. I really don't. I'll have to ask my brother. So, the Senate, in a power move of, okay, you don't like Mitch McConnell, we'll vote him out, passed funding for Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, and Taiwan today. Like 3/4 to 1/4, it passed the Senate. And it has no border security, no border funding on it whatsoever. As you recall, last week, the Senate had hammered out a deal, a bipartisan deal, and they took a vote on Wednesday to advance the bill and debate it. And it lost the vote because Donald Trump basically told Republicans, don't you dare pass anything with border security on it before the election because I want to campaign on it. So they killed their own bill, which gave them everything they wanted in border security that they've been arguing for the last 40 years without having to give up anything. So in a giant FU to Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell said, okay, fine, you don't want the border security stuff? He brought it up to a vote and they passed basically all the same funding without the border security. And that passed 3-1 in the Senate. And now Trump just told Mike Johnson, don't you dare pass this funding bill, which Mike Johnson is now saying, oh God, here we go. It's the world in the end. Which Mike Johnson is saying, well, we can't pass this. There's no border security on it. Oh God, what are your supporters going to say? You know? Oh, these attack ads are going to write themselves. You want it? The Democrats gave you everything you wanted, and then you said no, so they took it out because clearly it's what you didn't want, and then you're complaining that they took everything out. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. You know, you watch the Young Turks or I'm forgetting his name now. I'm trying to blank. Anyways, the fellow's interviewing the MAGA folks, and then, you know, they bring logic and facts and conundrums to them, and their brains lock up, and they do the Mitch McConnell buffering look. Jordan Klemper. And, you know, it's just like, well, you know, what do you want? Well, we want border security. Well, the Senate, like, you'd want, like, you know, aid for Israel, but you'd also want border security with it too, like the House wants. Yeah. Well, the Senate passed that. You know, the Senate was going to have that, and then Trump said he didn't want it. Oh, well, yeah, it wasn't good enough. Okay, so then they passed the aid bill without it, and then Mike Johnson said he didn't want it because it didn't have border security. Well, yeah, it has to have border security. But they had border security, and then Mike Johnson said he didn't want it. Buffer. Bunch of dumbasses. Okay, so now before I mentioned that I kept seeing the border security bill pass with the funding. So let's take another look at it. This energy is all over the place, man. How am I supposed to read on it when they do crazy shit like this? And I'm sorry, throwing a lot on this one, but really, oh my God, come on, guys. You know, it's hard to follow logic when there's no logic. Entertainment purposes only. What's the current status of, oh, I don't know, border security and funding for Ukraine, amongst other things. Entertainment purpose only. Page of Pentacles. What are your values? You know, what's the messaging of your values here? If you're a Republican supporter, I wouldn't know what my values are anymore because they're so used to being told what their values are that they may not be able to keep up with the late breaking news. What is it that you want? And they cannot articulate what they want. Cross with the Knight of Cups. So, you know, they tell their base, you know, this is what we want. We want border security. But, you know, clearly they're not sincere on this. They want to fundraise on border security. But, you know, they're lying. They're misrepresenting things. And here underneath it all, you got the Two of Coins. It's the changing values, the flip-flopping of values. One day it's border security. The next day, we can't have border security without you can't have funding for Ukraine without border security. Okay, we can now have border security in front of Ukraine. Oh, we can't possibly have that. That's not a perfect border security deal. We don't want it. Okay, well, here's just the same funding package that you didn't seem to have a problem with. You weren't upset with the border security. Oh, we can't have that. Flippy flop all the time. In the past, the Ace of Wands. The House, with their unreasonable demands, they said, we want border security tied with funding for Ukraine. Why should we send money to Ukraine if we can't protect our own Ukraine and their border if we can't protect our own borders first? Just like we don't want to send money to Israel until we take money from the IRS, because Israel and the IRS both have I, R, and S in their names, amongst other things. So they talk a good fight until the flip-flopping happens. Now here's the problem. They've been talking a good fight. They've been messaging. But now here comes the package delivered to them. How are they going to handle it? By the way, this Knight of Cups, to me, this is also, this is the Republic, this is Donald Trump, this is Mike Johnson, but really this is Fox News. This is right-wing news media. Right-wing news media could actually make a difference here. If the right-wing news media decided what they wanted for border security and funding for these countries, this thing would be done and dusted. Because they will tell, if the Republicans aren't going to tell their supporters what it is they need, maybe Fox News will tell them, and they'll believe Fox News. Overarching. It's huge money. We're talking money, money, and money. There's a huge messaging problem here. You've got budgets that are coming up. We're now, we're halfway through February, huh? Or just about halfway through February. They've got like 2 weeks. They've got 2 weeks before the budgets are due. And I haven't heard any news about budget deals, which tells me they're not getting done. So you've got budgets coming up. You've got funding for Israel and Ukraine and humanitarian aid and helping Taiwan fend off China. You've got all these big ticket items in there. Hell, they even tried to tie it with border security, and they're just flip-flopping on the message. What's the priority? Lesson to be learned is the hierophant. Okay, that's interesting, because the politicians are saying one thing. We need this, and then they flip-flop. But what if the hierophant... Now, the hierophant's all about big organizations, like the government, for instance, border security. These are all big functions here. The church would be another one. This is the lesson to be learned. This is the overall energy. So this is kind of like the lesson to be learned is, who are you trusting giving you the message? You trust the government. Now I'm going to touch back on Fox News. Can you imagine if Fox News went out there and said, we like this border security deal with this funding. Republican Congress should back this. Fox News and the news media would also be a hierophant. So if, if Rupert Murdoch wants to be a kingmaker and, have all this political power, and now realize he stepped down, but you get the metaphor, they could decide what's going to happen, because they carry as much sway as Donald Trump, if not more so. And I would argue Fox News would have more sway than Donald Trump, to a degree. And I only say to a degree because when they started reporting accurately, like when they called Arizona for Biden, and then they weren't carrying on the election interference stuff, people started fleeing to go to OAN and Newsmax. And then Fox News panicked because they were going to lose advertising dollars, so they started lying again to bring these people back. But the only people they were losing were the MAGA nutcases anyway, so I guess easily duped for the advertisers. But Fox News could do something if they wanted to. Outcome, talking about kingmakers, outcome is the emperor. Does Putin get what he wants? is because I don't think of Trump. Well, Trump underneath on that other reading I did for the RNC, he wants to be the emperor. But I think this is who's going to be king here. Who's going to make the decisions? Fox News could be a kingmaker if they chose to. Because right now the two most powerful influences, the most powerful influence over the supporters of the Republican Party is the messaging of fear. Who perpetuates the messaging of fear? Donald Trump perpetuates it, and Fox News, right-wing news media, but especially Fox News, they perpetuate that fear. If Fox News started a smear campaign on Donald Trump, and actually, well, it doesn't have to be a smear campaign. If they started reporting factually and honestly about all the crimes that Trump has been indicted for, and presented the evidence in the timelines in a non-positive light for Donald Trump, so many Fox viewers would suddenly turn on Donald Trump. They'd be really confused. They'd be angry. They've been lied to. You know, Fox News, because we didn't know. It came out later. Type of thing. What a mess. What an absolute mess. I don't remember what I'm reading on. I'm still remembering the RNC and Trump wanting to to instill Laura Trump as a co-chair in the RNC, because that's not shady. What am I reading on here? Oh, yes. The funding. There's that two of coins again flipping upside down. I think the bottom of the deck is still, oh no, waiting for the money. Okay. Now, as the budget's coming closer here, will the House, a little four-carder, will the House take alone this funding bill, or are they going to ignore it? What's the House going to do with this funding bill? Will they take it to the floor, or is Mike Johnson going to stick to his guns and not bring it to the floor? Holding on tight to the money, not opening up. I think this means no. Disappointment. Oh, so that is Trump. That was in the other ring. This is Trump telling him not to do it. Disappointment, betrayal. Here's the thing, though. People are noticing. The star card's underneath it. People are noticing that the messaging keeps changing, and they don't understand it. You know, on the one hand, the Senate's feeling betrayed here because and disappointed that they couldn't get the other one through. Betrayed they couldn't get this one either, or flip-flop it. Betrayed that they couldn't get the other one through, and basically Trump keeps stabbing in the back and keeps changing the rules. And how do you win? This is making the Republican Party look like a bunch of Keystone Cops, and they don't know what to do about it. But Mike Johnson right now is contracting. He's only doing what Donald Trump tells him to do. He will not take a chance at being a star. He should be a star. He could do this. He could ignore Trump and do it because, well, you know, you're supposed to be the chair of the House. You're the leader of the House. You're supposed to lead on things like this. Oh, God. So for right now, it does not look like he's willing to budge on this. All right. Will the funding and the border improvements, shall we say, the addressing of issues at the border in immigration, will that be tied together again and passed through the Senate and brought back to the House again? Will and I mean the old deal, I don't mean like a new one that they've created, will the old deal be resurrected in the Senate and brought to the House? Because now you got a messaging problem. You know? You got a messaging problem here for the Republicans. Will the old Republican bipartisan approved deal be resurrected and brought to the House? Juggling, changing of values. Let's do a bigger read on that one. New perspective. Or willing sacrifice. If they don't, then they pretty much have screwed themselves because their messaging, their values can't be kept up. If the Mitch McConnells of this world and the Republicans grow a spine in the Senate, and that's asking way too much from a bunch of jellyfish, they might actually do it. Page of Swords underneath it. This, again, it's Keystone Cops type stuff. And this to me is Mike Johnson, just out of his element here. Because underneath it all, he's the one who's saying, don't bring it to us. We're not going to approve it. And Trump, he's just echoing what Trump says and the changing values. The Republicans know, though, if they don't get this thing done, they're held accountable. They're sacrificed. They're stuck. They are absolutely stuck. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. This really is the heads you lose, tails I win scenario. They can't win. They cannot win. They're stuck because Trump doesn't want anything done. And the House Speaker is beholden to Trump. But I was asking if, will this get another review? And we have opening day here. We have the marriage. It is very possible that after this debacle with the funding in the immigration bill and then just the funding, that maybe they tie it back together again. If I were the Senate, I'd do that. Oh, you're back. You're concerned about border security. Okay, well, let's just throw it back in there again. There might be some messaging saying we had that already and you said no. Remember? Yeah, there we go. Now the Republicans have to grow a spine. If they can grow a spine, they can get this thing through, which gives them everything they want on the border. Lesson to be learned is victory. Now, I think Libby was saying she uses this as the look at me card or visuals and optics. But even if you look at his visuals and optics, how does this look? When you say you want one thing, you're given it, you say you want another thing. You're flip-flopping all the time. Outcome, Queen of Cups. If the Republicans grow a spine, they might pass it and they just don't want to talk about it, type of thing. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're just going to keep a lid on this thing. In the end of the day, they could pass this and have a victory that they could share with their voters. I think they're the lid. I think they're going to keep a lid on it. They're not going to pass anything. This could be that maybe there's some talks behind the scenes going on that people are keeping really quiet about. But right now, I would say no. Well, let's throw a qualifier on the Queen of Cups. Let's just confirm that. I got two of them. Knight of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. They're coming forward with an offer of money. Come on. What are you going to do? What's the plan? There's like a plea that we've got to do something of value. There's got to be an action plan. I think this is going to be some back. Okay, so I'm going to say that they may not do anything, but there's going to be negotiations between the Republican leadership saying, hey, you, Mr. Mike, are keeping us in a pickle. We need to have this is the Republicans keeping the discussion in house where, the media doesn't know it. We need a win here. We need to grow a spine. We got a great border deal and we're stuck. We're going to lose elections if we don't pass this. We're going to be sacrificed sacrificed if we don't stop changing our mind on what our values are. Jeez. All right. Again, it requires strength. And if there is one thing I've not seen the Republicans demonstrate is strength. So my general idea is that this is not going to get through. All right. How will the budget get... Is the budget going to get passed? We've got a couple of weeks before the budget's due. The first budget deadline's due. I think it's March 5th or something like that. How's the energy looking like for the first budget deadline? Jiminy Christmas. That's what they're talking about. Remember, on the qualifier, the Queen of Cups, they're talking about the budgets. We got to get these budgets done. We got to get this passed. You got the budgets coming up. Oh, God, they're right back where they were before. Do we have to extend it a fourth time? Had they extended it 3 times already? Let's see. We had the October extension. We had the December extension. We had the extension that got rid of... got the extension that got rid of Kevin McCarthy. And then Johnson got put in. He extended it to early January. Then they extended it to the beginning of March. Here comes that fourth one. They're trying to get away with it again. They're trying to extend it again without passing a budget. I don't know if Mike Johnson's going to survive not passing a budget this time. You know, how many times can you sneak away and get away with it? But yeah, they are much closer to having to extend the budget again than they are actually passing it. The pass is the empress. This is the budget, right? This is kind of like your budget card. The budget is supposed to take care of everybody. It's supposed to take care of, national defense and education, welfare, healthcare, fixing our roads. It's taking care of Americans, making sure everybody's provided with what they need to get on with life. It's a nightmare. This is the budget nightmare. They can't agree. They have such a narrow majority, and they have so many extremists. The extremists don't compromise, ever. I've said this a bunch of times. I'll say it again. Barry Goldwater Jr., that well-known libtard, and everybody knows how snarky I'm being with that, especially if you're a certain vintage of person who understands that Barry Goldwater Jr. basically wanted to nuke Vietnam. That was his solution to Vietnam, was just nuking it and turning it into a giant frickin' parking lot. That kind of libtard we're talking about here. He warned the Republicans that bringing in the evangelicals who are doing God's work was the worst thing possible because they don't compromise. How do you compromise doing God's will? You don't. They're uncompromising, and that's what they're facing with this budget. Just a bunch of extremists who will not compromise. And there's your juggling values again. Trump wants to be reelected to avoid prison, but that does nothing for running the country and doing what's best for the country in national interests. The elections are coming. People are watching. If they screw this budget up again, their numbers are going to start falling in polls. Even more people are going to fall off the Republican train. Like, why would you want these people in charge? They are so dysfunctional. Out comes the lovers. There's going to be another bipartisan agreement. I wonder if they're going to kick the can down the field again. Let's ask. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is getting longer. I'm going afield here. This is actually going into another reading at this point. But all right, let's ask the simple question: Will Mike Johnson be reaching out to the Democrats to extend the budget again? Oh, God. Which of course then is going to lead, are they going to kick him out? But will Mike Johnson be reaching out to the Democrats again? The Republicans, for the fourth time, be asking to extend the budget. The death card comes out. It might be the last time. Something's coming to an end here. Strength card. Yeah, that the Republican's got the strength. Does he have the strength to ask? Disappointment. There's more money. Oh, God. If he asks the Democrats might start playing hardball. The Democrats might say no. They might say, you know what? You've had plenty of opportunities to get this done. We had deals. We had deals in place for border security, for funding and stuff like that, and you said no. You know, we have dealt with you. We have bailed you out time and time again. You need to deal. Democrats just might say no and make the Republicans sleep in their bed. Pass the budget, just pass a continuation of the budget that we've been using for the last year, and you'll get our support. No more games. The Democrats may just very well say no more games. Alternatively, they could say yes, but they could also say this is the last time. That 4 of Cups turns into the 5 of Cups. There's no more extensions after this. This is the last one. But if he does get this, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone. Because he's been a disappointment as leader. Certainly not a strong leader. Okay. We will wrap it up there, because asking any more, like if Mike Johnson, is he going to get kicked out? That'll be another reading. It gives me an easy topic to read on. Okay. Let's do it anyways. Okay, fine. You convinced me here. Twist my arm. If Mike Johnson compromises on the budget with the Democrats again, will he be booted out? Simple yes or no. All right. Well, the hard part is, never mind. Never mind. No doubting it. He's the rookie. Page of Swords. He doesn't know what he's doing. King of Swords underneath that. They thought he was going to be a leader. They thought he was going to be a star. And they keep waiting for him to be a star and lead. And underneath is the willing sacrifice. They thought he was going to be a star. He was going to lead the party and take them where they needed to go. And he's going to look at things from a different perspective. They realize he's not a king. He's a page. He's not a star. He's just looking over his shoulder the whole time. They're going to get rid of him. Okay. I think regardless of what happens, his time is up. Well, I shouldn't say regardless. If he gets the budget passed, they may not kick him out. But I suspect either way, he's done. All right, now we'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your likes and shares and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so that my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks just discovering this channel for the first time or recently, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.